in the movie, Ram Dass says, "When I don't know who I am, I serve you. When I know who I am you." Can you explain that to us?
That's Hanuman
Yeah.
talking to Ram. Yeah. Um, and it kind of explains the relationship of in bhakti yoga of devotion between the the entity that you are beseeching to merge with, and while that's happening, that's the first part of that statement. The second is the actual, when the merge happens, I am you.
Mm.
And that ultimately, that is inside of every one of us. So this is just the quintessential definition of bhakti yoga in that statement, because that's what we do. We're using an object, and then once there's a merging of the two entities, then you become that which you are worshiping.
Can you tell us a bit about your friendship with Ram Dass and how, when you got back from India and what it was like?
Well, we actually started working on different projects very early on. In fact, one of the first, well, we did a number of things, but one of them in the first years was called Love, Serve, Remember. It was a record set, LPs with beautiful insert in it with all kinds of different graphics and so on. It was quite something. It's available still at ramdas.org/shop. You can find it as a digital download. So we did these kinds of things. Because my whole thing has been as a producer in this life, producing things either from music or and now it's books, films, whatever. So I worked with Ram Dass in that capacity. Then there was a period when we weren't working together. We were just on different trajectories in terms of the kind of work I was doing, basically. And but what we did do together during that time turned out to be really important and really cemented our relationship beyond working together on media and stuff like that. And that was this temple I told you, Hanuman temple. He brought Hanuman to America. They got a statue made that he worked with our Indian mother Siddhima and his Indian brother K.K. Shah, and the whole idea was the expression of compassion is so profound in this Murti, it's called. It's amazing. So he brought it over, and then around that Murti, a temple sprung up. That was just somebody's, their equipment room that we converted or whatever, just a little shack that was converted, and then the kitchen was added on. And suddenly there was a place in America for people to gather around Neem Karoli Baba and Hanuman. And so we were one of the first people who, Ram Dass and I and a couple of others, who were on the trust to formulate this thing. So we spent a lot of time doing that in those early days, which supplanted, having to producing stuff he was doing and so on. So I remember that as a wonderful time. And then, of course, not that long after, in the mid-'90s, he had that stroke. Mm. And I remember he had the stroke, and a few months later he was doing rehab and so on. He was in the rehab hospital. And I hadn't seen him, and I was going to see him for the first time in Marin County in California. And I walked in the room. He looked like a ghost. He was completely white. And he looked at me, and I burst out crying, and he started crying. It was just one of those moments of oh my God, how did we get here? So, yeah, I mean, from the moment I saw him the first time to the last time I saw him, where he just completely did the same thing, basically just opened up and was completely present with me. Um, yeah, we went through a lot of stuff, but that was always there.